So let's start in child's pose. So this is going to be some stretching, relaxing poses. After you've done some sun salutations, moon salutations, so you're somewhat warmed up, muscles are warmed up, you're going to be more flexible. This will be at the end of the practice. I always save this towards the end of class. Get back to the breath. Just relax and breathe. If you need to stretch out the shoulders some more, you can do something like putting an arm through here, child's pose. Switch to the other arm. Good, just putting both arms out in front of you, extended child's pose. Again, just getting back to the breath. Just relax and breathe. Good, let's just come out of child's pose. You're just going to lay on your stomach, on your mat, forehead to the mat, or if you want to turn your head to the side, whatever works for you here. Again, just getting back to the breath, just taking a breath or two here. And you can stay in any pose as long as you like. Pause it, the video, if you'd like. And we're just going to rise up, and we've done this one in class. It's called bow, B-O-W. I do one-legged bow. That's about all I can do. Some of you can do both legs. Just go back, grab the ankle, the foot, and then my opposite arm, I'm just going to push my torso up here. Some of you can just lift. If you're holding both legs, you can lift the legs a bit and lift the torso, taking a breath or two. It does take some low back flexibility. If it doesn't feel right on your stomach, what you can do is just turn onto your side and do bow. It's a good one for your quads, especially doing the standing poses, the moon salutations, that standing warm-up video with all the leg things, moonflowers, sunflowers, chair. You're going to hold this for as long as you'd like. The great thing about the video, you can pause it, or on settings, you could actually speed up the video if you want to go a little faster, or you can slow the video down if you want. And then let's go ahead and switch sides. So if you're on your stomach, again, with both legs, just come up and down as you'd like. I'm going to go and switch to the other side. I prefer on my side. It doesn't affect my low back. And if you want to pull the leg back a little bit, you can. Again, recommend doing something before this just to kind of warm up the body a little bit, warm up the muscles. You'll be a little more flexible if you do that. So some sun salutations would be good. Moon salutations if you tried that video. Good. We'll just roll over onto our back and bring our knees to our chest just to stretch out the low back, especially if you're on your stomach. You want to stretch out that low back here. Again, bow pose, that's B-O-W. So I will have a final similar to the midterm. Bow pose will be on it, just to let you know. And there'll be some other poses that are in these videos. Good, so then just rock forward and back. Good, just rocking yourself up, seated position. So then we'll do some hamstring stretches. So just a seated forward fold. So legs out in front of you. Flex those feet towards you. So you gauge the feet, gauge the legs here. That'll help you maybe tighten up those quads a bit. Sitting up nice and tall. You want to be sitting on those sit bones here. And then the first thing I want you to do is just keeping a flat back, just kind of lean forward, trying to engage those hamstrings here. If you need to take your hands behind you to push, I do that. I take my hands behind and I'll push myself forward. Again, flexing the feet towards you. And just try to get back to the breath, relax and breathe. And then if you'd like, you can go down a little further. Big inhale, exhale, and then you can reach forward. You duck the head, release the low back, and reach forward. Some of you may be able to get to your feet. If you get to your feet, you can use a strap if you have one. A belt works. Maybe even a towel. You can put a towel around your feet here and grab the towel just to help yourself. And then just duck the head, relax, and breathe. If you ever need to take a break, you just come up, take a breath or two. Big inhale, exhale, try again. See if you can reach further the next time. And I like to just, on my exhale, on every exhale, just try to reach a little further on every exhale. Good, coming back up, and then what we'll do is just emphasize one leg at a time. So I'm just going to take one leg, tuck it in, okay, wherever's comfortable. I got my left leg out right now, right leg is bent here, just so you can see, just here like this. And then again, flexing the foot towards you. Sitting up nice and tall, I'm going to lean forward first just to engage my hamstring, keeping my back flat, so I'm hinging from the hips here. If you need to push on the mat or on the floor behind you, just push yourself forward a bit, and then a big inhale, exhale, reaching forward. Again, if you can get to the foot, great. If not, again, maybe you can use something at home. Again, a towel works, a belt, something. Yoga strap if you have one, but a towel can work. Again, just relax and breathe. Again, coming up and resting whenever you need to. Take a breath or two if you need. And then big inhale, exhale, reaching forward again. Again, feel free to speed up the video if you want, slow it down, pause it at any time. Spend as much time as you want doing these poses here. Good, I'm going to come back up and I'm just going to switch to the other leg. I'm going to bring that leg in. I got my right foot out, right leg out, flexing that right foot towards me. Again, I'm on my sit bones here, sitting up nice and tall. I'm going to lean forward, keep my back straight, just try to engage the hamstrings here. Big inhale, exhale, reaching forward. If you need a break at any time, take it. Come up, take a breath or two. Big inhale, exhale, reaching forward. If you can reach a little further this time. Back up. Good, we'll bring that other leg out. Maybe just kind of shake the legs out a little bit here. Good, then we'll do a seated butterfly here. So what you're going to do is just bring your soles of your feet together. Okay, soles of your feet together. What I like to do is I grab my ankles. Okay, and then with my elbows, I'm going to push my knees down. And then I lean forward, just keeping my back flat and straight. So grabbing the ankles, with my elbows, I push my knees down. I keep my back flat, and I'll lean forward a little bit here. So I'm just trying to push my knees down to the floor. And then if you want to lean farther forward or duck the head, you can always do something like that. You can always come up at any time to take a breath or two. And maybe shake the legs a little bit here, and then try again. You can always, on that second time, I try to see if I can push my knees down a little further. Maybe lean forward just a little bit more. Back up, just going to bring my knees in, extend my legs out. And then here, we'll try this one. This one is a good one for the hip. I think I've showed this one in class. You're going to extend one leg, keep one leg out. I got my right leg out. I'm going to bring my left leg in. Again, I'm not the best to demonstrate this one. I've had some other students in class demonstrate, but what I'm trying to do is bring my arm, the crease of my elbow around my knee, and then I'm trying to bring my other arm, the crease of my elbow around my foot, and then match up my arms here. So flexing that foot that's extended, here, that leg that's extended, flex that foot, and then I'm just gonna bring this in, and this is called Cradle the Baby, Cradle the Baby. This might be another one on the final, so just know what this looks like. Again, you can go on the Yoga Journal website. There's a link on the home page. It'll take you to a lot of different poses. Look up Cradle the Baby. Different versions of this. I like to do it where I bend my knee and I cross my leg here, and then I take my hands behind me, and I push myself forward. So same sort of stretch. We're getting the hip, the glute there, the leg that's crossed, that glute, hip. Or you could always lay on your back. So keeping the legs here like this, and then if you want to lay down and do this, and then take your hand through that hole that's created by your leg being crossed and grab the back of your thigh. You could do this one. Same thing. Just a different version, so whatever one you prefer. come out of that, and then I'm just going to try the other side. So again, cradle the baby. I'm extending now my left leg, flexing that left foot towards me, and I'm bringing my right leg in here. And again, I'm trying to grab elbow around the knee there, and then elbow around the foot if I could, the crease of my elbow, matching up my hands. Version I just grab kind of my foot and do it. But again, I prefer just to bend the knee and doing this version. And I push with my hands. I feel it much more in my glute that way. Or again, you can go back. And do it that way, lying on your back if you prefer. Good, we'll go ahead and uncross that leg. Just lay it on your back, on your mat, with your knees bent. So I'm going to show a few more poses here. These are going to be on that final, like I said. Try them if you'd like. These are some other yoga poses. What you're going to do is go ahead and extend your legs. You're going to point your toes. I'm going to come up onto my elbows here, and I'm just going to tuck my hands underneath my hips, okay? So I'm kind of putting my hands underneath my hips here on my elbows, pointing the toes. So this is called fish pose. So it's to open up the chest and shoulders and a bit of the neck. So this is good for the chakras, the heart chakra and the throat chakra, okay? If you're into the chakras and want to open those up, this is a good one, fish pose. Got to pay attention to your neck. Do what feels good for your neck, okay? If you have a pillow or something, you might want to put it behind you. Yoga block can work too, but a pillow for your head if you need to. So I've got my feet pointed here. My hands are underneath my hips. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of push with my hands and my forearms on the mat, and then I'm going to lift my chest. So I'm going to lift my chest, open up the chest and shoulders, and then I take my head and I'm going to lift my chin. Lift the chin, and then bringing that head back wherever feels comfortable. Some of you might be able to bring your head all the way back to the floor, to the mat, or that's where the pillow can come in handy. I go about just about there. If not, I feel it too much in my neck. Just point my chin towards the ceiling, looking back. If it doesn't feel comfortable putting your head back, you could just look straight ahead and try to still open up the chest and shoulders. Just relax and breathe. Again, fish pose opens up the chest, shoulders, and also the throat chakra. I believe that's the fourth and the fifth chakra. Heart chakra is the fourth, throat chakra is the fifth. And you can hold that for as long as you like. When you've had enough of that, you just come all the way down to your mats. Okay, go ahead and bend the knees, feet on the floor, knees bent. And if you do have a pillow, you might want to use it for this too as well. You can take that pillow underneath your hips here, just to raise your hips up a bit. Again, do this if this feels comfortable for you. I'll show you modifications. So this is called Plow, P-L-O-W, Plow pose. So what you're going to need to do is get your hips up off the mat. So what you can do is bring your knees to your chest. Again, the pillow can help you raise up those hips up off the mat. And then I'm just going to take my hands and I'm going to just put them on my low back and lift my hips up off the mat. So I'm keeping my knees bent and my hips are up off the mat. I'm supporting my low back with my hands. Okay, so this is one version of Plow. And there shouldn't be any stress on your neck or your shoulders. You should be able to breathe fine, okay? No stress there. If there is, if it doesn't feel comfortable, maybe you just want to keep your hips up on the pillow with your knees to chest, just something like that, okay? So if you're able to get your hips up, hands on your low back, then what you can do, if you feel comfortable, is begin to straighten the legs. So full Plow pose, your legs are straight, and you can start to bring your feet towards the floor above the head if it feels comfortable. Again, do what feels comfortable. Should not be any stress on your neck, head, weights on the back of your shoulders. Again, full Plow pose. Your feet are touching the floor above you. But do what version, if you want to keep your knees bent, you can do that. Okay? So, again, I showed this at the end of the semester. Hopefully getting to know your body and what works for you. So do what works. Try it if you'd like. Do modifications if you want. Again, just leave your hips on a pillow. That can feel good. Okay? And then from here, if you're comfortable doing Plow, you may want to try a shoulder stand. So this is an inversion pose. The blood rushes to your head. Some people really like it. You don't, if it's not for you, you don't need to try it. So what you're going to do is you bend your knees, so from Plow pose, bend your knees so your feet are above your hips. And again, I'm supporting my low back with my hands. And I'm just going to go ahead and extend my legs straight up in the air. Try to keep my feet above my hips. Your feet are going to want to come back towards your head. Try to keep them above your hips if you can. So, again, shoulder stand. All right? Do it if you'd like, if you feel comfortable doing it. So a variation of this, if you have your hips up on a pillow, again, you can use a couple pillows if you want. Stack some pillows to raise your hips up more. And if you're doing just the knees to your chest, what you can do is just put your feet straight up in the air with your hips lifted. So in class, I would use a yoga block. So that's great. If you have a yoga block, you can put that underneath your hips on the back of your sacrum, right? That hip bone, that flat bone on the hip there. Or stack some pillows if you'd like. That could work. And then if you're up into shoulder stand, just make sure when you come out of shoulder stand, just bend those knees slowly, just support your low back, rolling your back down to the mat. Bringing the knees to chest. And then after doing spinal twist, after doing the shoulder stand, I like to do a spinal twist. So that's what we'll do here. So a couple ways I've showed you in class to do a spinal twist. So knees to chest, what you can do is let both knees just go to one side here. So both knees go to one side. Keeping your knees above your hips or even with your hips or below your hips, wherever you want your knees. And you just try to get your shoulders onto the mat. The opposite shoulder is going to want to try to come up off the mat. You can extend those arms out if you have space, looking straight up at the ceiling, or opposite, looking back at that opposite arm. Another way of doing this is extending the bottom leg, right? So you can extend the bottom leg and do it that way, resting that foot on your inner thigh of the bottom leg in the floor in front of you. You can push the knee down with the hand if you want. Again, gazing up at the ceiling, looking back at the opposite shoulder. Little spinal twist here. Good, then just coming back to center, maybe bringing both knees to your chest, and then trying the other side. So just both knees coming to the other side. Extend that arm out. Again, if you want to extend the bottom leg, you can, resting your foot on your bottom leg or the foot in front of you, pushing that knee down with the opposite hand. Looking back at that opposite arm, shoulder, or looking straight up at the ceiling. Good, stay in those poses as long as you like. Again, you can always pause, speed up the video, slow it down, do whatever you'd like. You may want to just go right into the final relaxation video from here. But I'm going to end this video here. Feel free to go for as long as you'd like. Enjoy.